One of the largest high school crowds ever to witness a game in northeastern Pennsylvania on hand tonight at the Lackawanna County Multi-Purpose Stadium. It's the first ever high school game here. The Scranton Prep Cavaliers hosting the Dunmore Bucks. Dunmore went on an 11-play, 70-yard drive the first time they had the ball. The key play was the third down completion. Tom Marquez to Tom Golden, the ball to the Prep 8. One play later, Tom DePietro scores the first ever high school touchdown at the Multi-Purpose Stadium. 8 yards, makes it 7-0 Bucks. Scranton Prep played this one tough tonight, only to fail on a 2-point conversion with no time remaining. Dunmore wins by a point. Game number 1, Dunmore's first possession. Tom DePietro goes over the top for the touchdown. It caps a 35-yard drive, and it's 7-0 Bucks. Valley View comes back with a march of their own. Corey Castellani takes the handoff and takes off on this nice run. The march would end, though, when the Bucks intercepted the football at the 25-yard line. Final play of the first period. Dunmore from their own 20. Quarterback Tom Marquez rolls out and finds Rory Altmann in full stride behind the defense. He makes the catch and goes on to complete the 80-yard touchdown play. Dunmore stays unbeaten with a 21-12 win tonight over Valley View. Game number 1, Dunmore against Abington Heights. The Bucks driving, but Abington's Dean Dodge gets the interception at the Comets 23, and that ends the threat. It was scoreless until late in the first half, just 2 minutes and 3 seconds left. Tom Marquez goes back and airs one out to Rory Altmann. 35 yards, Dunmore stays unbeaten, topping Abington Heights. Game number 1, Dunmore's Tim Ruddy will recover this tech fumble on the third play of the contest. Bucks take over at the Red Raiders' 33-yard line. 5 plays later, Tom DePietro gets the call. He gets 8 yards and gets the touchdown. 7-0 Bucks. They stay unbeaten tonight, topping Scranton Tech.
Good evening, everyone, from the locker room. This is Jim Miller along with Sid Michaels saying welcome to week number 9 of local high school football. Tonight was highlighted by the Bulldogs of Berwick going for their 9th consecutive win and the showdown between Wyoming area and Dunmore. Sid?
Jim, in that Wyoming area Dunmore game, the Bucks trying to stay unbeaten, but it was important for Wyoming area because they were still in the hunt for a conference championship and a wild card playoff berth. First, let's check the scoreboard. We have a Big 11 game first. There you see it's Scranton Prep over Valley View. Prep gets back into the picture for a B playoff spot. Dunmore defeats Wyoming area to stay unbeaten 42-16, and North Pocono shuts out Riverside tonight 21-0. Now highlights from those 3 games. Game number 1, Wyoming area becomes the first team this year to take the lead on Dunmore. Joe DeLuca fields the punt at the 20-yard line. Several yards upfield, he gets a great block and then gets into the open, going all the way down the sidelines for an 80-yard score. 7-0 Warriors. The Bucks come right back, marching 71 yards in 9 plays. Dave Silvestrini goes over the top on the first play of the second period. It was tied at 7. We move to the 4th period. Wyoming area adds another touchdown. Jude Donato with a 3-yard run, but it was far too little. The Bucks would respond one more time. Tom Marquez, the nice fake into the line. He finds Sean Colo wide open for the touchdown. Dunmore still unbeaten, 42-16 over Wyoming area. Game number 2 at Dunmore Central scored in their first possession to take an 8-0 lead over unbeaten Dunmore. But the Bucks come right back. Tom DePietro goes 3 yards, cutting the lead at that point to 8-6. After a Dave Silvestrini interception, DePietro scores again, this time from 9 yards away. Dunmore still unbeaten, 43-8 over Scranton Central.
when you play Mount Carmel, you're going to play a well-coached football team, and he had his football team ready to play Dunmore High School. And we're fortunate to come out with a win. We made a few mistakes, but you got to give them an awful lot of credit. We're very proud of our football team because they played very hard.
After a short Dunmore punt of the game's first possession, Berwick moves to the Bucks' 14. Tom Gallagher, though, makes this hit. It forces the fumble, and Dunmore takes over. 4 plays later, Berwick fumbled the punt at midfield, but Dunmore's offense couldn't go anywhere. The Berwick defense kept them to just 16 total yards and no first downs in the first half. The Bulldogs' offense, meanwhile, helped by 3 Dunmore turnovers, got inside the Bucks' 40 4 times in the first 2 periods, but couldn't score. It was deadlocked at 0 at halftime. After intercepting a pass on Berwick's first third-period possession, Dunmore goes to the Bulldogs' 26. But on 4th and 6, Tom Marquez stopped short of the first down, and from there it was Berwick's ball game. They would go 74 yards in 10 plays, 44 of the yards picked up by back Joe Kowalski, who carries the ball down to the Dunmore 15-yard line on this play. And then with 1:18 left in the third, quarterback Joe Kelchner keeps over the left side. The extra point was missed, 6-0 Dogs. With 8:25 left in the game, Berwick took over the ball and, aided by a Dunmore penalty on a key 4th down play, ran out the clock for their second straight Eastern Conference title.
I'm proud of our players. I'm proud of our fans. They were here 7:30 this morning. You got to beat good teams to win it. And this is our second one. We never run back-to-back. We had a lot of opportunities now. We're proud of this football team.
Our lines came along. We started. They were blocking, giving me good holes. I just did what I had to. Our defense played a good game. It was really the battle of defenses. Now we're number 1. We proved it.
Both Berwick and Dunmore will now advance to next week's state championship playoffs. The Bucks tasted defeat for the first time this season last Saturday in a defensive struggle with Berwick. The final was 6-0. But it did prove to this team one thing, that they can play with anyone in the state.
The outcome was not what we wanted it to be, but you got to give Berwick a lot of credit. They have a fine football team, and they did a great job, and we're very happy the way our kids played, and most importantly, we come out of the game extremely well physically.
The season did not end for the Bucks with that loss in the Eastern Conference Championship game to Berwick. For now, they turn their attention to the PIAA state playoffs, and next up is South Williamsport this Saturday at Wilkes-Barre Memorial Stadium.
I think they realized that we've got another big football game coming on Saturday. Of course, Monday they were quite disappointed after looking at the films and realizing how close they were to possibly beating the number 4 team in the country and the number 1 team in the state. And, they got a great deal of character, and we had a great practice yesterday, and we're hoping, of course, that they'll be ready to play on Saturday.
Dunmore will be facing a team that has an identical record of 11 wins and just 1 loss in Saturday's first round of the Class A state playoffs. And it's a club that will put the Bucks to the test.
We got a great quarterback that runs the option very, very well. I think he's going to stretch us from sideline to sideline, of course, and he throws the football so very well to Sam Esposito, excellent receiver. And they're very strong defensively. They do a real good job. They play a 4-4 defense, which we haven't seen much this year. So that may cause us some problems, but we're working at it right now, and hopefully everything will work out for the best.
Dunmore and South Williamsport Saturday at 1 at Wilkes-Barre Memorial Stadium. To the winner goes a spot in next Saturday's PIAA state championship game. Sid Michaels, Eyewitness Sports.
Early in the second period, the Mounties stunned Dunmore with the 53-yard scoring play. Jason Zalonis beats the blitz and finds Jason Jean with the screen pass. He'll work his way down the far sideline and go all the way for the score. South Williamsport led the Bucks of Dunmore 6-0. Late in the half, the Bucks defense comes up with the big play as Dave Silvestrini blindsides Zalonis, forcing the fumble. It was recovered by T.J. Jimmy at the 35-yard line. 3 plays later, Silvestrini blasts up the middle for an 8-yard score. Dunmore and South Williamsport went into the locker room tied at 6. The Bucks took the second half kickoff and marched 56 yards in 9 plays. Silvestrini spun his way the final 12 for the score. 2-point conversion made it 14-6. After holding the Mounties, Dunmore took over and Tom DePietro capped off another scoring drive with a 1-yard plunge. This one was now 20-6 Dunmore. The Bucks put a lid on it with 5.5 minutes remaining. Tom Marquez on the option pitches to Tom Golden. He vaults into the end zone for the score. Dunmore over South Williamsport 27-12.
You know, you're playing 11 young men that grew up in a great country of America, and they've got a lot of desire. Their coaches deserve a lot of credit. Their players played hard. And we just told our kids, hey, you're going to have to go after them second half. You're going to have to play Big 11 football. You're going to go attack them and do the best you possibly can, and see what happens.
So the Bucks of Dunmore now advance to the Single A state championship game next weekend at Middletown High School at 10 o'clock in the morning. From Myers High School, this is Jim Miller, Eyewitness Sports.
In the Class A semifinal, South Williamsport took the early lead on Dunmore. Jason Zalonis beats the blitz with a screen pass to Jason Jean. He goes down the far sideline, 53 yards for the touchdown, 6-0 Mounties. After a South Williamsport fumble, Dunmore's Dave Silvestrini goes 8 yards up the middle. This one was tied at halftime at 6. In the third period, Dunmore went 56 yards in 9 plays in their first possession. Silvestrini again scores, this time a 12-yarder. It's 14-6 Bucks. After holding on defense, Dunmore gets the ball back. Tom DePietro scores on the short run to make it 20-6. And then Dunmore put it away with 5.5 minutes to go. On the pitch off the option, Tom Golden will vault into the end zone and vault Dunmore into the state title game 27-12. Saturday's schedule has Dunmore against Keystone at 10 a.m. at Middletown. Berwick plays Perry at 1 o'clock at Hershey Park, while Montoursville and Hickory go at 4 o'clock, also at Middletown. Sid Michaels, Eyewitness Sports. Dunmore didn't waste any time this morning. Dave Silvestrini capped a 50-yard drive in their first possession. It was 7-0 Bucks. After holding the Panthers on 3 downs, Dunmore went to work one more time. Tom Marquez hits Fred Garvey on the slant down the middle. He'll take it 49 yards before finally being dragged down at the Keystone 5-yard line. Just 2 plays later, Tom DePietro goes 4 yards untouched. 13-0 Bucks still in the first. Second period, the Bucks strike again, and again it's Silvestrini. The sophomore fullback blasts through the line. He's off on a 37-yard scoring run. With 6:48 left in the half, it was 19-0, and the Bucks weren't through. 3.5 minutes left in the second. Tom Golden goes 6 yards off the pitch. Keystone added 1 before the break to make it 25-6. So after scoring on more than half of their possessions in the first 2 periods, Dunmore took a comfortable 25-6 lead into the locker room at halftime of this Class A championship. It was the same story in the second half. Dunmore scored almost at will. Rory Altmann scores to make it 38-6. Later it's Tom Gallagher on a 4-yard blast. It's 44-6. And then the Bucks would reach the half-century mark with 7.5 minutes left in the game. Tom DePietro weaves his way for the 60-yard touchdown run. Dunmore saved its best for last, 57-18 over Keystone.
Our offense and defensive line was just too big for them. They had a hard time controlling us, and our kids did a super job. We're just so happy for our community and our high school. I'm very happy for our seniors because they did a super job for us.
The win was the 14th of the season against just 1 loss for the PIAA State Class A champions, the Dunmore Bucks. It was a night to honor champions. At the annual Eastern Conference Banquet at Genetti's in Wilkes-Barre, tribute was paid to champions and their coaches. Berwick and George Curry in Division I, Division II's G.A.R. and Charlie Fick, and in Division III, Old Forge with Coach John Armalay. It was also a time to get together with old friends.
It's a little more relaxing here tonight. You come here, you see guys I haven't seen in years, some of the old coaches, Chet Wasilewski, and guys like Jack Jones, and some of the fellas that were my idols when I was a player yet.
The Eastern Conference also produced a state champion this year in Dunmore. Even though the Bucks lost in the conference title game to Berwick, Jack Hens' team went on to take the Class A crown.
Well, it's a great feeling, Sid. Our kids are very, very excited, and our fans and our school district, we're enjoying all the fine things that come with it, and we're just so very, very happy.
The Eastern Conference Banquet, a chance to get together with old friends and look back upon a season that proved that football in the Eastern Conference is the best in the state. The Coach of the Year award is probably the only honor Jack Kansas has never won in his 23 years of coaching. His teams have taken Big 11 and Eastern Conference championships and captured the biggest prize of all 2 weeks ago when the Bucks took the Class A state championship with a victory over Keystone High School.
It's a great feeling, and this could not have been accomplished without the hard work of our assistant football coaches and the fine talent of football players that we had, academically as well as athletically.
Dunmore finished the season with a record of 13 wins and just 1 loss. That one loss was to perennial power Berwick in the Eastern Conference title game. But with less than 30 players on the squad and most playing 2 ways, the Bucks came back from that defeat and fulfilled their goal of winning the state crown.
It was probably the biggest football team we've had in my 19 years at Dunmore High School. They have a lot of talent academically as well as athletically, and they blended very well together.
The honor to Coach Kansas just added to an exciting day at Dunmore High School today. This morning, members of the state champions were awarded their PIAA medals at an assembly in the gym. An appearance by Santa Claus highlighted the gathering as the Dunmore football players once again relived one of the greatest seasons in the history of the sport at their school. At the Scranton CYC tonight, Central against Dunmore, the Golden Eagles' Tom Canton off the rebound and Paul Denenbaum. He gets control, then drives for the over-the-head layup for an early 2-point Central lead. Dunmore bounces right back. Tom Marquez with the pass down low, pumps, and then goes up and scores. But Central will pull out the victory tonight. Canton rebounds the air ball. He puts it up and in. The Golden Eagles open 56-52 over Dunmore. Game number 2, Prep opens up a 10-point third period lead on Dunmore. Jamie Mamera gets the shot off the left side. The Bucks would respond then with a 14-1 run. Tom Marquez changes his shot and banks home the tough one-hander. Dunmore up by 3. This one goes to the wire, tied at 52. Prep with the ball. Listen and watch Frank Padula's shot at the buzzer. Referee Joe Denty says the shot came too late. The clock expired. It goes to overtime. In the extra session, Kevin Coleman hits the three-pointer from the far side on Dunmore's first possession. They never again trailed and beat Prep tonight 73-66. Sid Michaels, Eyewitness Sports. Dunmore was another unbeaten going into tonight's game against North Pocono. Tom Marquez, the feed, he scores inside. But the Trojans would hold their ground in this one. Nice double pump by Frank Brown, who hits the bucket. But the Bucks would go to Kevin Coleman for 2 more. They win it 64-56. It was a proud night at Dunmore tonight as the state Class A football champions celebrated the signing of 5 players to Division I or 1AA scholarships. Off to Richmond University, guard Tom Pavlowski and defensive back Rory Altmann. Outside linebacker Sean Colo goes to Princeton, guard Tom Hopkins to Lafayette, and all-state lineman Tim Ruddy announced that he will attend Notre Dame.
I think what drew me to Notre Dame, I like the small town atmosphere. It was kind of like Dunmore, and I like the idea. It was kind of like a family out there between the players and coaches, and overall, and being a Catholic university, that really helped sway my decision too.
The fact that this football program has 5 of its players on their way to Division I or Division I AA schools makes everyone very proud here at Dunmore. But head football coach Jack Kansas is even more proud of their academic achievements, with 11 of his starters on the National Honor Society.
We feel it's a tremendous asset to our school system, and we feel we have excellent teachers that have worked very, very hard with our students, and I'm so very, very proud of them.
5 young men from Dunmore High School reaching high goals both on the field and in the classroom, and hoping to do the same in college. Sid Michaels, Eyewitness Sports. Game number 2, Dunmore was all over Dallas. Sean Colo to a cutting Kevin Coleman for the lay-in. He finished with 20. Dunmore coach Jack Kelly cleared his bench in the 4th. J.J. Healy on the break scores. Dunmore 68-43 over Dallas. Game number 1, Dunmore's Joanne Fanning scores off the turnover. The Lady Bucks take the early lead. Michelle Sobel of Westside Tech will respond on this shot. She gets fouled on the drive down the lane. But Dunmore would advance in this one. They beat Westside Tech 64-52.
Game 2, Carbondale area. Dunmore Chargers fight back on this jump shot by Joe Corey, and they trail it by 3. The Bucks get a big basket right here. Sean Colo on the miss, the follow, the score, the foul, and the 5-point lead. Play of the game, Bucks led by 1 with 24 seconds left. Tom Marquez on the inbounds pass goes all the way in for the hoop. Dunmore wins it 51-48.
In the nightcap, it's Lake Lehman's Wendy Skabitsky scoring in the lane for the 2-point lead. Dunmore comes back. Joanne Fanning with the shot in traffic that goes. And then it's Kelly McHale getting the feed in the lane. She puts it up, scores, and is fouled. But Lehman would get it back at the other end. Andrea Mazur on the baseline drive. She scores in tonight's AA playoff action. Sid Michaels, Eyewitness Sports. Game number 3, Riverside didn't waste time against Dunmore. Susie Deininger scores off the opening tap. The Lady Bucks would stay close early. Chrissy Bowen hitting this rainbow shot in the lane. But a 16-2 Riverside tear would put this one away. The Lady Vikes, the AA champs, for the 8th time under Coach Tom Nagley.
I thought we did a good job defensively and taking away Joanne Fanning like we did because she's been scoring a lot of points lately. But no, they never get old.
All 3 winners, plus Honesdale and Dunmore, will now advance in state play. Sid Michaels, Eyewitness Sports. Down by 4 in the opening minutes, G.A.R. went on a spurt midway through the first quarter to take the lead for good. The Grenadiers' Bob Sura starts the drive, then gives up to Kareem Twyman as G.A.R.'s lead hit double digits. It was 29-21 at halftime. With Kevin Coleman scoring the bulk of his 23 points in the second half, the Bucks got to within 2 at 35-33 going into the 4th period. But Dunmore never could get even. Twyman scores again, this time off the feed from Tyrone King. And down the stretch, it's Dave Kopinski with the drive, the feed to Matt Skrepnak. G.A.R., the district champ, 51-47.
Great, man. It feels just fine. You know, last year when we came out against Dunmore, you know, we got a pretty good butt whipping. And this year we just concentrated on winning, and we did a fine job. Definitely a sweet moment. We wanted to get these guys back from last year, and we got them. We're happy now.
Both teams will now advance in next week's state playoff action.
Game 3, Columbia and Dunmore. The Bucks had a tough time in this one, trailed by 14 points when Greg Poindexter scores on the break. Dunmore came back later with a few outside shots as Sean Colo scores on the jumper. Columbia advances to the showdown with the Grenadiers of G.A.R. by posting a 63-45 victory over Dunmore. This is Jim Miller, Eyewitness Sports.
Pick up the glass of water, and Pat was drinking coffee.
I got a suntan here. Here's how I celebrate. I watch the No Nukes TV on VH1.
Already with a slap on the hand. What happened?
There was a gold for District 2 in the shot put as Notre Dame-bound Tim Ruddy of Dunmore had a toss of 55 feet 11 inches. That was 5 inches better than top seed Barry Hawkins of Donegal.
Yeah, I think that's what maybe had the farther distance today, is that the competition was a lot better. We pushed right down till the end.
How's it feel being a state champ?
Can't describe it.
Finals in the remaining field events as well as all of the track events will be held tomorrow when the state track and field championships wrap up here in Shippensburg. I'm Sid Michaels, Eyewitness Sports.
In the AA baseball game this afternoon, Bowman Field in Williamsport, Montoursville built up the overwhelming lead and then rode it all the way to advance to further competition. Downing the Bucks of Dunmore, the final was 8-0.
The female athlete of the year in Lackawanna County is Jessie Levandowski of Valley View. Jessie had an outstanding career in both basketball and softball for the Lady Cougars and was an all-league selection in both sports.
I was surprised and I'm really happy about it, and I'd like to thank the panel for selecting me. I really like to thank them. I worked hard, and I am surprised because there's a lot of great athletes that were selected, a lot of great athletes from Lackawanna County, and I was just really glad that I was selected for Athlete of the Year.
On the male side, the winner, Notre Dame-bound Tim Ruddy of Dunmore, who was a member of the state champion football team and achieved all state honors as a lineman. Tim also won the gold medal a few weeks ago at the track and field championships in the shot put.
Well, it's an outstanding feeling. Lackawanna County is a lot of great athletes, outstanding people. I've seen up here today. And to be chosen as, the Athlete of the Year among them is certainly an honor.
The Athlete of the Year program is sponsored by the AAA Motor Club, Citizen Savings, and radio stations WWDL and WICK. Winners were selected by a panel of local sports writers and broadcasters. For nearly all the players in tomorrow's Big 33 game, this marks the end of their high school careers. It will also help them prepare for college competition, since for the first time for these guys, every player on the field will be a blue chipper.
You're playing against the best guy at your position. Like, you go up to the ball, I go up to nose tackle. He's the best guy in the state at the position. And just to work out like that, it's not going to do nothing but help.
These kids that come here to camp are, they're it in their school. And when they come here, everyone realizes that they're all the same. They're playing with people just as good, or if not better, than they are. And it's a good feeling to be around them.
In the week that these players have been in Hershey for the Big 33 game, they've done much more than just practice. Among their activities has been a meeting with Governor Casey. They've conducted clinics, and they've met with hospitalized children. It's made them realize that there's much more to life than just playing football.
Yes, it makes you feel notice how fortunate you are, when you see some of these kids, the problems they have and how brave they are fighting through them.
The Big 33 game, it's not just a memorable football game, but an all-around experience that these top-notch players will never forget. Sid Michaels, Eyewitness Sports. Monday's Dream Game will be the last high school game for each member of this city team. They'll take with them memories of their fine scholastic careers, as well as the friendships they developed over the past 2 weeks.
We all hang out together and stuff a lot in the past week, and we've sort of grown to like a family, more just a friendship now.
Obviously, the members of this city team will go out to win Monday night's Dream Game, but they will also go out to have fun in what will be their last high school game.
They have mutual respect for one another, so it's easier to learn, and the kids are really getting along. From the first day, it was as if they had played together a long time. And as a coach, it's just a thrill to be around great athletes, as a bunch.
Definitely, that's what the game's for. I'm hoping in this game to be in shape for the college team I'm about to play for and just have a blast. It's my last game, be with my friends last time.
The city will play the county in the annual Dream Game Monday night. Kickoff is 8 o'clock. It'll be at the Lackawanna County Stadium. Sid Michaels, Eyewitness Sports.